Good morning, everybody. It's Jillian. I kind of just woke up a little bit, but yeah. So this last variant I was exposed to, I think I was very tired for just one. Actually, I was a little tired yesterday, but not too much. But I was tired the day before, and so I took a nap. And I know that my husband was tired today because he kind of slept in through his alarm, but he's okay. He can be a little late sometimes at work. He doesn't have very often. But yeah, oh my gosh. My dog too, she's been going through evolution and finally she's over one of the stages that was pretty like trippy. And that was the seizure stage, the peeing in the bed seizure stage. And I'll tell you what, when you go through a healing process with your animals as well as with your kids and with yourself, it's it might seem rather alarming. You might be kind of scared, but I'll tell you what, it is worth it if you just are patient. Like I sleep with my dog every night and so I really can monitor her behavior. I mean, I'm with her basically 24/7. So I monitor her behaviors and I monitor her cadence, I monitor her everything, all of her eating habits, everything. And some of these healing symptoms that you guys will experience when you're doing the J juice will subside and not last as long. Some will last longer than others, and it's hard to say, but you just keep pressing on. You don't give up. And so, since, I'm like my God to my dog, she's dealing with the dualities of life and death. And here I am promoting life. So I'm basically like the third entity, the three, the God over my animal. And not only do I invoke life, but I do invoke, evolution because it's more than just life, you guys, okay? It's also evolution. It's also advancing to the next levels. So I feel variance and I have like, I had like a skin issue here. I have a bit of a quick issue here, a little bit of pain, but that's really it lately. It's been kind of interesting. And then just the fatigue, okay? And so my current book, actually my book that I'm writing now, I just got done with a section called Words Are Chemistry, or what is that? It's Words Are Energy or something. And I do talk about how words are what creates worlds. Okay. Word spells create worlds. And then my next section's gonna be called Masters of Illusion. Okay. So we've had a really horrible history, like human history, it's horrible history, slavery, genocide, huge bombs, just a lot of political unrest. And yeah, you're seeing some snippets of it here and there in very smaller experiential circumstances. But I think now the masters of our universe, the masters of illusion, are going to trigger what you've already chosen. Okay, so instead of them choosing who's going to live and who's going to die, they're going to be like, okay, well, you already made a choice deep down inside when you wanted to get this organ taken out, when you want to go get chemotherapy and on cannabis, when you already made a choice that you want to anesthetize or pass away someday, then they're going to make you realize your choice probably that much quicker. And so yesterday was supposedly, I guess, Nurses Day. And I'm as smarmy as I am. And I'm just like, and they're saying that nurses now, like 1 out of 3 nurses are wanting to get out of the profession because they're so exhausted. There are so many patients and so many people affected by this virus that they just don't really have what it takes to keep up. It's just too much. And then some people don't want to work, which is no big deal, whatever. If you get a chance to get paid more on unemployment than working, I think it's a great financial decision for you to rest and redirect your energy. And maybe you don't want to go back to that hospital filled with people who are completely destroying themselves and each other. I get it. And so if you choose to go into that profession, you choose to promote that kind of lifestyle, which I understand is what was taught to us for many years, but the world is changing. Okay. And so if you still promote that and you still promote taking out organs and operations and antibiotics on a massive scale, and then you have this information you've been exposed to, I absolutely have no sympathy for anyone in that industry who knows about Jilly Juice. The ones that don't know about Jilly Juice, they still make their choices and they can always get out of that industry. People do have the capacity to change their profession even midstream. If you have cornered yourself and painted yourself in a corner with supporting so many people who could support themselves on some level, or where you have such a highfalutin lifestyle that you have to stay in your job, you can't afford to get out of it, then that is what you've created. That's your lifestyle that you've created. So everybody has choices nowadays. And so the Masters of Illusion, which is why I posted that video about Wall Street, the Masters of Illusion know now, instead of choosing who's going to live and who's going to die through what happened back in World War II, they're going to say, okay, you have a belief system. We're just going to have you realize it that much quicker. And that is with energy. Just like when you give the homeless $1,000 a month, they think that's going to help them. Some might be strategic and pool their resources together. If I was homeless and I didn't have, well, I wouldn't be homeless. I would actually go find resources to get me out of that. I've done that before, where I left a relationship and went to a homeless shelter for a second, like a battered woman shelter. And I stayed there for about maybe 30 days, figured some stuff out. And then I went and got a job, figured out that, things weren't as bad as I thought it was. Went and got a job as a bagger, and I was like 19 or 20. And I worked as a bagger, and then I got paid money while I was living at the shelter, and then I saved my money and then went and got an apartment or a little room. And then that's where, my life began, so to speak, with a job out of that relationship. And I didn't have to wait for anyone to give me money. I just went and got a job, right? But so that's the thing. So when you give $1,000 to a homeless person who might be strung out on drugs, who might be alcoholics, who might have so many issues, and you give them $1,000, they are going to destroy themselves that much quicker if they are addicted. Okay? And so there's a strategy to throwing energy, throwing money at people. They're either going to get their life together and figure it out, or they're going to destroy themselves that much quicker. And so you have to understand the Masters of Illusion know this. They know people's proclivities. They know people's habits. They know their belief systems. I mean, we post all of our belief systems all over the internet. Okay? And so it's not difficult to know the types of people you're dealing with, especially in the politics, religion, and science world. When you know that words create worlds, words are chemistry. And then, you create something like a Bible where you believe there's a beginning and an ending. You create something like, doctrines in religions or cults, and people believe you should die someday. You have mission statements with companies, and they have a specific mantra or specific, direction. And it is kind of it's a destructive, even though it's the mission statement of the company is to heal everybody through the Hippocratic Oath or whatever. I mean, look at your mission statement like in these hospitals. You figure out what they are. That's word chemistry. That's belief system. And so when you throw a virus, when you throw money, when you throw antibiotics, when you throw so much energy at someone who believes they should die someday, or believes that, that remedies are healing, or believes that viruses are horrible, and you throw so much energy at them, guess what? They're going to realize their belief system that much quicker. And that's the Masters of Illusion. It's so strategic. I love it. Because here's the thing, what I'm proposing out there with the J Juice is changing your beliefs that maybe you shouldn't die someday. Maybe the remedies out there, all your detoxes and your MLMs are promoting detoxes and supplements and pills and powders and all that stuff. Maybe that's destroying you. Maybe that is why we haven't realized immortality, because of how you deal with your tumors. My dog still has a tumor in the back of her head, But that's just evolution. Am I going to have it removed? No, because on the top of her head, that would be, first of all, that would be probably very sketchy surgery, and she could actually have brain damage from that surgery, which I would still nurse her back to health if I ever did that. But I would not do that kind of invasive surgery on a dog that actually is doing quite well. She went through her seizures, which were pretty crazy. She went through the peeing of the bed, which is pretty crazy. For probably maybe about a month straight, she was having seizures and peeing the bed. Undiscerning people would probably put their dog down or put them on some kind of antibiotic to destroy them even further, to make them more of a zombie, and then they would die anyways. People might think, oh, that's torturous. Why would you have your... Because what's the alternative? Have them die anyways? Destroy them at the micro level and then watch them suffer as they die out there? Or let them go through the healing process, which they do anyways, and let them get through that next level of evolution. My dog is very strong. She wants to live. I mean, when someone tries to kill an animal and the animal struggles, it's because the animal wants to live. All right. So why would you destroy an animal at the micro level when they're going through evolution if they don't want to die at the macro level? Because they know that life is precious. They sense danger and they sense someone's kind of like sketchy. They're going to growl because they are trying to protect themselves as well as whoever they're around. So you have to assume that all animals want to live, but so many people assume the animals don't want to live, or assume the animals don't have a soul, or assume the animals don't know the difference between life and death. And that's not me. And so I promote life. I have substantiated what life is. There's millions of, there's a lot of testimonies. And then I see the masters of illusions, the words that create the worlds, the doctrines, the mission statements, the Bible, every single, a negotiable currency out there. There's mission statements to all of them. You determine the value of all the negotiable currencies out there. That's why I say Wall Street is an illusion. This whole get rich quick scheme, that's what gets people caught up into all these illusions of easy street. I'm sorry, there is no easy street. There is balance and there's adapting to the fluctuations, but I don't think anything is completely that easy. I think that you will have the strength to handle controversy in your life, because sometimes it's going to happen. When you deal with an unpredictable population out there that thinks they should die someday, they don't know when they're going to die because they're not promoting life within them. They're promoting the very slow death process, and you don't know when they're going to have a supernova. Shit, you see supernovas out there all the time in schools with people with guns. You see people just cracking up all over the place. You see supernova, little big bangs all over our world. People who are just having these spontaneous explosions. It's not spontaneous. It's been building up for a while, and then bam, a dose of energy, whether it's from 5G or from the virus, which are all fine, then cause them to just glitch at a maximum level, and people around them are being taken out with them. And so that's the masters of illusion, is throwing energy at someone who what their belief systems are. Instead of changing the belief system and say, okay, you want to live? Well, here is the components to life. Here's the substantiation of life. I want you to live. And yeah, you got to feel pain. You got to face your demons. I have a lady in my group who's going through her healing process, for the second time around. She was part of my group back in 2017 when it was so huge and so crazy. And then it was a little bit too much, and I get it. And then finally she's like, okay, I want to live, and I don't want to live through this agony of eating, where eating is so painful. And eating is evolution, but eating should not be painful. But eating was painful for her because the body was not equipped to process that data. And so it was going through a constant evolution every single bite she took. Finally, she's doing the J juice. And instead of 5 or 6 hours of agony of, from eating, it was only 20 minutes. And at some point she will have no pain from eating, but she will feel little pains all over her body as she goes through the evolution process. Okay? Every single variant that I have been exposed to, I've gone through an evolution and a new thought process, a new peace, a new just new ways of looking at the world, the new ways of dealing with the unbalanced energy on my Facebook. I'm telling you, nothing has changed out there really, though I am training people to give me my space, stop private messaging me stuff that I really don't care about at this point. Let me do my thing. Send me only testimonies with private messenger. Don't tag me in stuff that I'm just like, that's cultic or, destroying somebody else. And today, this person did it again. They'd send me a private message, and I said, please don't send me a private message. And they attempted to correct the way I responded. And I'm just like, whatever. I didn't even respond. I just deleted the message and left it alone. Then they attempted to tag me in one of their posts that is part of a very, I would say, dogmatic belief system of where, yes, they are very much calling things evil and calling things bad and have a major judgment call. And I'm just like, I'm done. I finally said, okay, I said, first of all, don't tag me. Then I'm like, what, I'm not even going to go there. That's just too much energy I'm spending on the same person. I think now the next step is to basically block and delete. And I did. And that's it. I mean, there's no point in going back and forth. There's no point in getting mad. It's more of like, okay, you give your warnings, you give you're saying, hey, okay, I don't believe that. Hey, can you stop this? Hey, can and then at some point you just make a choice. You draw your boundaries and you cut ties. The guy says he's on doing JJ's, but it's way too early in his world for him to be part of my world because he's still trying to convert me. And I don't really want that. So at some point when you're on the JJ's, you're still going to be stuck in your conversion process. If you don't even have boundaries already, you probably won't have boundaries even in the beginning of the JJ's. And so those people are going to still do JJ's, and maybe one day they might get it or they may never get it, but I don't need to know about it. I mean, I'm done. So yeah, you're going to change the way in which you react to controversy. People are still going to be the same around you, but the way you react to them are going to be very, very different. And it's all going to come out in your verbal and your written. Your biophysical state, because there is a trinity of communication, your biophysical state is what's going to determine the way in which you are communicating between your verbal and your written style. And then and maybe you're so proficient in verbal and written and your biophysical state's all messed up, but then you'll be very good at regurgitation. Because innovation cannot come from a body that's devolving. It really can't. I mean, you know who the greatest innovators are? When they're in their youth, or when, like with Einstein and all those innovators, they had many years of intense study. And then when they died, yes, they were older when they died. But you think they had all their ideas when they were on their deathbed? No, they had a whole lifetime to study all of their ideas to be the innovators. And then when there was nothing left in their body, mind, and spirit, then they passed away. There was no more written or verbal communication or biophysical communication. Okay? So like Mark Zuckerberg, Facebook will probably be the only thing he'll ever be innovative about. Bill Gates, the viruses with the vaccines and the viruses and the data with the computers will probably be the only thing he'll ever be innovative about in technology. Would he be innovative in actually indefinite life or immortality? Would he be innovative in other things? No, because his spirit, his body, and the way in which the physical communication was talking to each other, what gave him that specific specialty. But since he's not evolving his body, he's never going to go into anything else but what he already knows. And even that's going to be done with because, he's going to be too old to run anything or have any more innovative thought because he'll be dying. All right. And so eventually regurgitation becomes the name of the game, even for the innovators. All right. So if you want to be innovative on a continuous basis, you have to keep evolving. And it could be at the paragraph level. You're writing a book and you're going through an evolution process. You're evolving at the chapter level. Every single chapter now is a new evolution. Everything's a new evolution. So I just want to offer that, I don't know, what do I want to offer? Offer the knowledge and the observability that the masters of illusion will throw energy at what you already believe in and have you realize it faster. And that is the magic in our society, the words that create worlds. And so if you want to be innovative and potentially live indefinitely with immortality, there's a way in which you change the way you believe, and you change also what your thoughts are, and also you change your biochemistry, because you don't want to be brainwashing yourself into memorizing something to get something superficially. You want to realize your new belief system at the biochemical level, and that means you have to deal with your predispositions. And that's with the J juice. There's no way to really be truly innovative and truly live indefinitely if you don't change your biochemistry. So, all right. So good luck to everybody. I'm going to do my thing and write and stuff. But yeah, whatever belief system you have, it's going to be realized that much quicker on, with any energy thrown at you when it comes to yourself. Okay. When it comes to yourself and how you think your world should be. And yeah. So, all right. Bye.